July the 17th, 7:03 a.m. She talks some more about this assassination attempt of Donald Trump, former president. You know, I guess it was Lester Holt that interviewed this head of the Secret Service. We seen this report on TV yesterday, or I did. Said that this had actually come out before, I guess, this rally Saturday where this assassination attempt, when it happened, that the Iranians may be up to no good. And I guess this was coming from the FBI. Well, here's a question. I mean, I don't know the answer, you know. Sometimes, you know, you take shit for granted. What is the FBI communicating with the Secret Service? And when this lady gave this interview, Chittum, I guess her name is, had she been to this site? Before she started talking with the press and trying to answer questions, had she been to this site that's still in lockdown, by the way, as a crime scene? And if she hadn't been to this site, here's the question she should have been asking that interview. And I'd be curious as to the answer she gave on this question. What was the highest ranking Secret Service member that previewed that site before that rally took place? And what was the highest ranking Secret Service agent on that site when that rally took place? You know, I'm asking this for a reason, you know, because remember, this took place on Saturday. So who did we have out there exactly as the head cheese for the Secret Service? It had a head cheese of the Secret Service. What was the highest ranking that had previewed this site exactly? Both of those questions need to be answered. You know, it is a possibility, and I'm not saying this is true, but, you know, this happened on a Saturday. So, was this the junior varsity supervising this? You see what I'm saying? Or was this the senior varsity supervising this venue? I don't know. That's what she should have been asked. Something, you know, this is not adding up, okay? To see what happened. And no, you can't secure a building from the inside and think it's secure from the outside. Okay? You can't put, for example, you can't be putting people inside a Trump Tower and not worry about what's outside. They're both important. Equally important. And you can't see all four sides of a building standing on one side of the building either, can you? So I don't know what kind of logic was being used that day, okay? Whatever it wasn't the right stuff, boys. It wasn't the right stuff. That sloped roof comment she made. She had to look at the videos. The damn roof that the damn snipers was laying on has got more slope on it than the building this rifle nut was on from the looks of it. And how many agents or how many law enforcement were inside this building the rifle nut was on exactly? How many were inside of it? I'd be curious to know the answer to that. How many? How did this rifle nut get up on this roof exactly? They say a police officer was going up a ladder. Where'd the ladder come from? Is this the same ladder the rifle nut used and just laid off to the side, kicked it to the ground after he got on the roof? I don't know. Now, this is a tough job for the Secret Service, and this is a tough job for law enforcement. There's no doubt about that, okay? I done heard, you hear the horror stories. You've got Secret Service out there going through dumpsters. Or having a standby dumpster. There's a lot of things they have to do that may seem unimportant, but they're very important. Or they may seem trivial, may seem remedial, but they're very important. They're very important if the wrong thing is tried, as in the case that happened on Saturday. And yeah, most of your venues, you don't have something like this happen. There's not an attempt. So, maybe you could get lazy. Let your guard down. We hear this saying, oh, well, we've got to be right all of the time. That's true. That's what you got to be. You got to be right. You got to be on the money, on your toes all the time. And if this 20-year-old, if he had no real outside help, other than, I guess this gun was given to him to go to a shooting range or something. Well, this wasn't a person probably, if this turns out he wasn't specially trained, he didn't have any unusual skills, he was able to do what he did. Think about that. This head of Secret Service, I don't know, I've not went back and looked at the total history, but this position, I don't know how the government has this set up exactly, but this position, in my opinion, the world has changed since Secret Service was invented, okay? The world has changed. We have weapons that can be used at longer distances. We have devices that evil people can use. Okay? They can be bought on the open market by any person. Laser rangefinders, different things. I won't go into detail. But these things can be gotten, and we're in a different world now. A lot of the weapons have changed. You've got air rifles, you've got bows, you got bow and arrows that could have been used in this. You believe what I'm telling you? I'm telling you all the truth. In the hands of an expert, a trained expert, a shot from that rooftop to where that former president was standing could have been done. Bows don't make noise, boys. Okay? Now, the arrow flying through the air makes a little noise, but there's no rapport like from a rifle. So you can't depend on noise to get you where you need to be in these security situations, threats. So this position, Secret Service, you know, I think this lady has got like 25 years or 27 years. This may count her time as the head of Secret Service. So she was promoted from within the organization. Well, you want to hear the sharpshooter's take on this? The sharpshooter's take on this position can be filled from within, but it should also be made where it can be filled from the outside. This position could be filled from the outside. Maybe by an ex-SEAL, a retired SEAL, somebody that was in the Army connected to the Army Rangers, somebody connected with the Delta Force could fill this position. That's how I feel about this. This is not to say it couldn't be filled from within, but I don't think it should necessarily be just that. Because that limits the pool of people that are qualified for this job. Okay. So I don't know if this lady, the head of the Secret Service, has been to this site or not. I would also, here's something else too, you know, this hasn't been mentioned, and we have the technology. And I went and looked, you know, they got this pay chart on the internet, and I went and looked, and it shows you've got these different titles and levels in the Secret Service, and it shows the pay, years of service. And you know, the Secret Service, just think about it, we see it practically every day, especially during election years. We see these people on TV. We see them around the president. But a lot of questions are not asked about them and their organization. And probably for good reason, because we don't see what happened on Saturday happen very often, do we? So when something like this happens, you know, maybe we need to drill down on the Secret Service. So these venues, this venue that happened at Butler Creek, Pennsylvania, I mean, I don't know how you have it for top dogs in the Secret Service, but you can look at the pay chart, and it's like, who signs off on one of these venues exactly? And what I mean by that is, you get a Secret Service person out there that is the person that's going to basically, they should be able to walk around with a camera, just like what I'm doing right now. This camera didn't cost that much. They go out to the site and they walk around with a camera, and maybe they take a laser rangefinder with them, and they're going to know how that site that day is set up. They're going to know where the snipers are. They're going to show the buildings. They're going to pan the camera, and they're going to say, this is where they're doing this video. And this video would be kept private, but it's sent to somebody that's the head cheese of the Secret Service. Now, it wouldn't have to be a very long video. Now imagine if that would have happened on this event Saturday. And they pan the camera over to the right and say, oh yeah, there's a building over there about 145 yards. Oh, and we don't intend to put anybody on the roof of that. Well, what would that do exactly? If you sent a video, you could even probably use a drone to take some footage too. And you let this person look at it and sign off on it and give their opinion like, oh, it looks like you got everything covered nicely. Good job. Wait a minute. That building over there, you're not going to have that be on the roof of that. Why? Well, if there's a reason you can't put a person on the roof of it for safety reasons, or they can't function up there the way they need to, then improvise. Do like I said yesterday. Consider the use of these bucket trucks to elevate law enforcement or Secret Service. See, I don't know if the Secret Service is doing this or not either. But we live in a different world now. But to have a site preview and break it down for somebody that's in the head of the Secret Service to say, what do we got out here? Okay. Everything looks good. I mean, this head of Secret Service, she didn't know there wasn't anybody on the roof of that building, did she? Did she know that when this happened? Did she know that? What rank of a person inside the Secret Service did not know nobody was on that roof? That's the $64,000 question. See, I don't know if she knew or not, based on her answer in her interview. Or anybody that's second, third, and fourth, and fifth in command in that Secret Service. Now remember now, I'm talking more about these planned venues. Okay, I'm not talking about if a person with Secret Service protection is being, moving around. I'm talking about where they get into like more of a stationary, it's a planned event. Okay, like a rally. These are the ones, these kinds of situations here are the ones that needs to be previewed using video drone, maybe, and then reviewed by some of the higher echelons inside the Secret Service and being given the green light. That's what I would do if it was me. Now, maybe this is already going on, but I highly doubt it. And I did a little video about the COM problem. Basically, the use of a cell phone with a control phone number that you would only have one of these phones. That phone would only be used with that number for that venue, for that site. And after that, that phone number is Mox nixed. It's gone. It's removed from the phone. You set up that phone with a different phone number, or you go get another phone with a different phone number, you go to another venue. So between that and previewing these sites and reviewing these sites for security measures, looking at the ways the person that we put in this position, you do all three of them, should minimize something like what happened on Saturday. That's my opinion. Anyway, that's going to conclude the video. Everybody stay cool out there.